Now in this video, which is video number 3, if you haven't watched the 2 previous ones, I suggest you do that. We're going to talk about where to place those keywords that you've just found and discovered yourself. And the first place that we want to put those keywords is within your title tag. Now, as I've said before, each web page on your website needs a title, and it's a crucial element to have, especially where the search engines are concerned. Now, this is because when a search engine comes to pay a visit to your website, it will first looks at the title of your web page first, and it makes note of what that title contains. Now, the title of the page sets the theme for the remainder of the content on that page. Now, the only thing that you have to do is give your web page a title, or the title using the keyword phrase that you picked out for your web page. So if I had chosen like legal services training as one of the keywords I was going to optimize a web page for, I'd simply just place that phrase within the title. Now, it's important to note that if at all possible, keep your business name out of the title. When you use your business name in the title, it dilutes the importance of the keywords that you're trying to rank well for. And it also takes up valuable space, because when your web page is displayed within the search engines only display a fixed number of characters in the title tag, and on average only 60 characters, and this includes spaces. So as an example, the screenshot here is an example of a search I did on the phrase legal services training. And all of the links that are in blue, if you don't already know, are identical to the title of the web page that link goes to. Now, that listing there in the first position is cut off by an ellipsis symbol, because this tells us that site has used a title on their web page that's longer than what Google will display. So if this website wants us to see something and know something important about that web page, we're not able to see it. And the next place that you want to place your keywords is within a heading on your web page. And here's an example of a good use of a heading for the phrase legal services training. Now, headings are usually contained within header tags, and without getting too technical, there are actually 6 levels of header tags, and it's H1 through H6, with H1 being the most important. Now, when you're optimizing your web pages, your main keyword phrase should be contained within the H1 tag if you're placing a header on that page. And if you're unsure how to do this, it's some very basic HTML that's really easy to learn. Now, in this case, obviously, this person or this website added a few additional terms to that keyword, and that's just fine, just as long as the main keyword phrase remains within the heading. So again, all that they've done is just added a few simple additional terms to that phrase of legal services training. Now, the next place that you want to place your keywords is obviously within the content of your web page. But in this case, we simply just want to work in the keywords wherever they'll fit naturally. Now, if you take a look at this page, all that it is a brief synopsis of an event that talks about legal services training, and this is from another website. The actual phrase itself of legal services training is used only twice. However, notice the other related words and phrases that are contained within the rest of the content, and those are all highlighted. All of these words and phrases make sense to the search engines in relation to the phrase legal services training. The bottom line is, with content, to use your main keyword phrase where necessary, but to not overthink it too much. As you naturally write, you'll end up using terms related to that main overall keyword phrase, as in the case of this example. Now, the next place we want to place our keywords is within the anchor text. Now, your anchor text is simply the clickable portion of a link. So if you take a look at this website, and hopefully you're able to kind of see the section in blue there in the middle, all of that text in blue is clickable, and that is considered anchor text. Now, in this case, it's not exactly the best use of anchor text, but I just wanted to point out what those would look like on a web page. Now, what's important about anchor text is that when you eventually create other web pages on your website, you'll want to use anchor text that contains the keywords for the page you are linking to. So let's take a look at how this would actually work. Now, let's say that there's a fictional website called Leo's Law Firm, and it has 3 web pages. Now, one web page talks about legal services training, another one talks about self-help lawyers, and yet another one talks about family law. Now, on that legal services training page, Leo refers to the phrase self-help lawyers. Now, since he has a page on his site already that talks about self-help lawyers, and that's the main keyword phrase for that page, he would then create a link out of the phrase self-help lawyers and then link to the page that had that as its main keyword phrase. And the bottom line is it's important to link to other related pages on your website using the keyword phrase that you optimize that page for. Now, another important on-page element is the description of your web page. Now, if we take a look at the Google search results again, you'll remember that that clickable portion of the list, the blue links there, are actually the titles of the web page that that link is going to. The text listed below that link is what's contained within the description of that web page. And this is also a good place to put the keyword phrase you're optimizing your web page for. Now, that said, keywords in your description are not going to help you considerably as far as rankings are concerned, but they perform another important task, and what that task is enticing website visitors to come to your site over your competitors. Now, you can think of your description as a little mini sales page to get people to come visit you instead of your competition. And again, like the title tag, the description is limited to a certain number of characters, usually around 250. And again, that does include spaces. And just like the title tag, whenever a keyword is contained within it, it's bolded within the search engine results page. And that just makes it stand out a little bit more. So lastly, let's cover another simple on-page element, and that is images and how they relate to SEO. Now, images always add to the visual appeal of any web page, but like all on-page SEO elements, they need to be used, or they should be used, in a certain way. Now, since search engines can't read images themselves, we need to be sure that any image on our web page has descriptive text added to it so that the search engines know what that image is about. Now, this description, or this descriptive text, is called the images alt tag, and it's really nothing more than a brief description of what that image is or what that image contains. And additionally, you can also put a caption just below the image that also gives a brief description of that image. So having both on your web page it's not going to create a huge boost in rankings, but it will help the search engines understand what your web page is all about. Now, the next video is going to start off talking about off-page SEO, or link building. So be sure you watch out for that, and that will be video number 4.